No, I mean, because serious though. I mean, you are truly running for president because I can hear somebody right now listening and going, "What's he running on? Student loan cancellation?" And it's like, well, yeah, duh, of course. But
Tim, there are of 43.4 million federal student loan borrowers,
that's a heck of
39.
that's a lot of voters.
That's a lot of voters. It's 39 million people who are losing sleep over their student loans. They were never going to be able to repay them. That's a huge number of voters, and they span the political spectrum. And so, yeah, this giant, I would say it's the largest politically untethered voting bloc in modern American history. And
You
if
know,
both parties are going to just completely neglect and betray us, well, somebody's got to step into that. And so that's
and
what I'm doing.
we're going to get to your other issues. It's Alan Collins, student loan justice org. He's running for president, and we have a caller, Jackie in Texas. Jackie, you are calling. What's happening down in Texas, Jackie?
It's a mess. There's $141 billion of student loans that are owed by 4.5 Texans. It's outrageous. Now, all of America needs to get on board and vote for Alan Collins because he is going to be there working for us. Right now, the politicians, the rich, they just want to keep funding the rich. They want the rich to get richer, and they don't care about the poor or the middle class. So if we wanted any change to come about, we need to get a change in the House, right? So everyone needs to get on board and get Allen in there so that he can try to save America. Because
Well, Jackie, it sounds like we might have lost you there. Jackie, thanks for the call. Thanks for calling Busted Pencils. Alan, you got one supporter in
I
Texas.
appreciate that greatly, and Jackie was right. She knows her stuff. $141 billion hanging around the necks of the people of Texas. That's $9 billion a year in interest being sucked out of the people of Texas of all political stripes, sent to Washington, D.C. Like,
Mhm.
no conservative should be for that. Like, the governor of
Well,
Texas should
I
be
was
with
I was gonna
me.
make the conservative argument for student loan, cancellation, get rid of.
Well, yeah, it's stronger than the liberal argument. You can say, the federal Department of Education and the colleges have erected this unconstitutional, unconscionable red state wrecking like Texas loan scam, and this thing is sucking huge amounts of unearned wealth. And if you look at the worst hurt states, it's not Massachusetts or Washington or Oregon or California. No, no, no. If you look at the worst hurt states, it's the entire South, from Texas to Florida, up to Virginia and over to Missouri, and everything in between.
Mm.
Alabama, North South Carolina, Kentucky. These states are being wrecked far worse than the rest of the union in mostly federal student loan debt. Like, no true conservative can look at this and say this is a good thing. It's not. And if people are worried about the colleges, indoctrinating our youth, or whatever the
Mm.
people on the right like to say, well, they've apparently been duped, because as they wag their finger at the borrowers and say, pay your loan, what they're actually doing is defending and protecting this unconscionable loan scam that benefits the colleges and the Department of Education, which most conservatives say they want to shut down.
Mhm.
So there's a very fundamental um, bad brain thing going on with many conservatives who, quite frankly, have been programmed by the media. So
Well, there you go, conservatives. There's your reason to be voting for it. I think this is LA Tom, right, Anya? That's right. LA Tom from Los Angeles, Wisconsin native originally. LA Tom is on the line. LA Tom, how are you, my friend?
Hey guys, I'm good. First off, we the people ultimately are the government, and we must never forget that. We need to decide as a country, and this goes all the way back, even with the media, everyone. Do we value education? Do we value education in this country or not? I look at everything, because I'm a small business owner as well, as I look at everything as a return on investment. And the thing is, the return on investment on a college education or schooling in general or education in general pays you back tenfold, much more than throwing a bomb over into a country and letting it blow up and gives us no redeeming value whatsoever. But what I'm saying is that we have to decide what is our priority. we also need to talk in this discussion about money in politics and how, because of Citizens United, because of Buckley versus Vallejo and First National Bank versus Bilotti, we have politicians that now have been bribed, and it's the only way they can get into office is with big money. And that does not, and we need to get money out of politics so we can restore government back to we the people and get our democracy back. Because right now, you can have 200,000-300,000 people marching outside of the Capitol of Madison, and you know what? They just wait you out and wait till the next donor comes by to pay the bill and put a commercial up that's a lie about someone on the other side.
And buy a security fence for the next time.
I was going to say, Alan, our guest right there. Go ahead, Tom. Finish up there.
The only other thing is we have got to learn, as a very, very simple concept, the difference between public versus private. And public is about we the people not making a profit. Private is about a private individual making a profit. And I never understood that concept really, even into my 20s. And I'm so happy that I have now, because it's such an important thing, because you always have to make a profit when it's a private organization. And the Republicans and other people that are bought off by the billionaire donors are basically trying to tear the public universities and public institutions down, so therefore they can be privatized and taken over so someone can make a profit.
LA Tom, we love it when LA Tom gives us a call. Alan, what do you think about LA Tom there? And I saw you nodding in agreement a lot.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that he said there that I disagree with. And you know, the federal student loan program is the perfect poster child of how private for-profit enterprises come in, they capture government, and they turn this, what originally was a well-meaning program to educate the country, into a profit center for themselves. And, you know, it's gone so deep with the federal student loan program, the Department of Education is completely on board with making a profit. Like, where does the government make a profit? Does the Air Force make a profit? No. Does the Department of Health Human Services make a profit? No. No federal agencies make a profit, but the Department of Education makes $100 billion in profit a year on interest on these federal student loans.
So why would they ever cancel it then?
Well, that's exactly right. And that's what we're up against here. The lending system has failed. Everything I said earlier is still true, but there is a very strong, I'd say it tends to be Republican. It's greed. It's people who want to make money. It's both sides of the aisle. You know, this thing transcends partisan politics. It's just a very strong greed motivation that gives this lending system very strong roots in Washington, D.C. So this is a very, very important battle that we're in.
This is our guest tonight, Alan Collins, Student Loan Justice org. But Alan, big announcement tonight, you know, running for president. And the reality is there. Check it out, collinsforpresident.com. You can go there. Check it out. You know, and people are like, what's he running on, student loans? Well, yes, but you know, I got there. Go to the website. Taxing the wealthy, reducing spending, securing the border, growing the economy, healthcare, internet censorship, surveillance, data gathering and privacy, China, foreign relations, election integrity, and more importantly, you want to hear what the people think. Alan Collins, thank you for busting pencils. When we get back, Tim and Anya, break it down. Busted pencils. Back after the break.
Thank you, sir. Hopefully we'll have maybe a nice update for you in the next month or two.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, Alan. Thanks. Good night.
Robert Hack Diamonds pays cash for your unwanted gold, silver, and even diamonds. That's right. Robert Hack Diamonds wants to make you an offer on your gold, silver, and diamonds. The process is very simple. No appointment needed. Just come on in, sit down in a nice, relaxed atmosphere, and the staff of Robert Hack Diamonds will evaluate your unwanted gold, silver, and diamonds and make you an offer on the spot. Then you can decide if you want a deal or no deal. Robert Hack Diamonds can also convert your old jewelry into something new or trade in your outdated pieces for something new and exciting. Many people inherit jewelry that might not be your taste, but you are sentimental. Why not have Robert Hack Diamonds take the golden gems and create something for you? So many options at Robert Hack Diamonds. Again, Robert Hack Diamonds pays cash for your unwanted gold, silver, and diamonds. See them in Brookfield, just east of Moreland on Greenland Avenue, or 76 in Layton, right on the corner in Greenfield. RobertHackDiamonds.com.
This is the Shaw WAUK.
We're back. Busted Pencils, fully leaded education talk. Educated educators talking education. It's where blue collar scholars gather. Our guest tonight was Alan Collins, studentloanjustice.org. Big major announcement. He is running for president. People think, well, really? Yeah, go check it out. We said, collinsforpresident.com. You can see it's there. He's more than about student loans. Anya, so there you are. You weren't you're the new producer to Busted Pencils. You didn't meet Alan before you got this gig. What do you think about Student Loan Justice org, his organization? Did you learn anything tonight?
I do feel like I learned a lot. I was really amazed by his statement about, he's right. All these other departments that the government funds, these things do not end up being profitable. It's kind of like when people talk about like, hey, we got to fix the public buses until they're profitable. And it's like, well, they're never probably going to be profitable. They're a service we provide because we're sorry, I have to break this to you. We're a society now. We have to take care of each other. I'm so sorry to tell you guys. So I'm obviously very much for forgiveness. I'm for the justice part of it. And
Right.
I think he's right about the overblown idea that there are people out there who can pay and are somehow flaunting their choice to not. My understanding has always been is if you've got money that the government wants, they're going to find their way to it. So I'd be kind of amazed if those boycotts exist. I think it's a lot more people like me who keep having to go back and saying, nope, pockets are still empty, guys. Get off my back. That's kind of the reality. At least it's my reality, and I'm the producer. So here I am to tell you about it.
And what producer Anya says is
Anya.
always the truth. Producer
That's right.
Anya. Oh, she is always Anya. She's there. Okay, so Anya, now just so you know, one of the things though that we didn't really talk about here, and this is another issue, is that the student loan forgiveness that's occurring right now, and I wanted to get a little bit more of this go in with Alan, but to realize that a lot of the forgiveness that's happening right now is not really new. This is forgiveness that should have happened, that now all of a sudden the president has decided, hey, let's enforce the rules that were in place. And I will point out that as a person, I was one of those people who, during the first public student loan forgivenesses that came out in the 2000s up through the I was like, oh my God, I'm eligible. I was a public school employee. I taught for, I paid my student loans for upwards of 20 years at that time. And I was like, I get to apply for student loan forgiveness. And guess what happened, Anya?
You totally got it, and your finances are fixed.
And
Right?
life was awesome ever since.
Yeah.
It was instant. They said, Tim, you are forgiven. No, they didn't. Sorry, Tim. This program isn't for you. I was like, well, wait, why is it not for me? It's for people who've been working in public, like a teacher like me, for 10 years and paying on their loans for 10 years. I've been doing it for 20. How come I don't? Well, sorry, Tim. There's a fine print there that you must have missed. It doesn't count for you. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if it's not for you,
Yeah.
who's that for, huh?
Yeah, I was like, well, who's getting it? And so, you know what, though? And at the time I agreed, and I said, oh, well, I begrudgingly agreed, went on my way. And then, I don't know, in the mid 2000 teens or, the teens, I said, maybe I'll give this a try again, because now I had paid another 7 years. And I was like, okay, I've more than done my 10 years. No, Tim, no, still, it's not for you. It's, we know you've been, a teacher for 20 some years, but no. And I put this out there for people to hear this because this is what happened to a lot of people. So at a point I said, well, then, you know what? I got a really great offer from a private debt consolidator that said they could really reduce my payments and my interest rates and make life a little bit easier for me. And guess what I did? That's where my loan is now. And now guess what? It is never, ever, ever going to be available for forgiveness. People are sitting there going, well, Tim, you're the dumb person or the dumb butt who made that stupid decision. I guess, but really, shouldn't I be allowed to get what was given to me? So if President Biden is canceling loans right now, what he's really doing, what Alan said is he's canceling all those loans that should have been canceled back in the early public student loan forgiveness rounds. Shouldn't I get mine canceled now, though? I mean,
you should. You've been paying your student loan back longer than I've been alive, so that's kind of scary. Like for me to think about.
That's a whole other statistic. Yeah, that's a whole other statistic that Alan brings up too, which is but people are like, well, you should have never went into the private consolidation. I'm like, well, but I would have never gone there had I been given the program that was supposedly available. And now the president's all about making the program that was supposed to be available to people. However, what about, and so I'm out there looking, potentially, occasionally, every so often thinking, could something happen for me one day? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe, but we're out there. It's Busted Pencils. It's fully leaded education talk. Some great callers. Jackie from Texas, LA Tom. Always appreciate LA Tom giving us a call, coming in. And again, we'll wish Johnny Lupinacci. We're going to see him back tomorrow. We know we just got a text from him. All is well. All is fine. So anybody who was worried, if you're a praying person, Johnny appreciates it. We thank you. Student loans, though, the topic of tonight, forgiveness. And we said this one thing, though, too. It's like even the word forgiveness on you when it first came out was kind of like this idea, like you did something wrong.
Yeah.
It was like, isn't that a problem that it's forgiveness? You bad person, we're going to forgive you for now, but don't you go be bad again.
Don't you dare go get another one of those higher educations you're always talking about.
Don't you go get yourself smarter and making yourself a contributing member of this democracy and participating and having thoughts about things and maybe even potentially reading books that might offend people and then even becoming a public school teacher. Oh, Busted Pencils, fully leaded education talk, blue collar scholar. We're back tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, too. Introduction, the women from Educators Amplified, Joanna and Hallie, are going to be on Wednesday. It's going to be a regular occurrence. We're looking forward to that. Busted Pencils, fully leaded. See you again tomorrow night.
No toys, all the girls and boys, making all the noise. 'Cause we found new toys. Can't salute to get by. If that don't suit you, that's a try.
Shaw at 101.1 FM.
Broadcasting thank you, Anya. Thank you. Thanks for filling in there a little bit too.
The Shaw.
No problem.
WAUK.
Always love your voice. See you tomorrow.
At noon on Wednesday, it's Trivy Olson, Pat Kreitlow.